Hello again from Central Virginia on this beautiful March day, and I'm out in my kitchen garden. And today I'm going to do some planting in, I have my beds numbered, and bed number 8. And ultimately, that's going to have a trellis of peas going up the back. It's got a few volunteer garlics coming up, and I am going to plant a little block of carrots. These are Chantenay red core, which are a short carrot and should be ready in about 65 days after it germinates. Getting the carrots to germinate is a little bit tricky, but I found a couple of ways to do it, mainly by putting something over top of it to assure good soil to seed contact and to make sure it doesn't dry out um, during that germination process. The germination period can be kind of long on carrots, so I'm getting them going right now. This particular variety, the Chantenay Red Core, is good for heavy clay soils. I'm actually planting into beds that are pretty well amended, so they should do well. I'm also going to be planting just a few onion sets around it, and I'm doing that because I hope I'll get some bulb onions off of this, but at least I'll get some spring green onions if nothing else. Onion sets are a little tricky because they are 1-year-old onions and they were harvested before they bulbed up, and then they go, they're put in storage. And because onions are biennial, it might decide to pop up and say, okay, it's time to go to seed, which happens. And if that happens, well, that happens. But I'll be able to at least get some green onion out of that, if nothing else. And it'll serve as a bit of a protection around the carrots. So hopefully they'll grow. So let's go ahead. This is the bed that I have planted in. And you can see where I pulled the hay away. And I'm just, any little sprouts of grass, I'm going ahead and pulling them up. I know that they're going to be more. So that's just going to happen. So I'm going to be using this plastic top. This is going to be my carrot planting area right here. Actually, I'm going to move it. Oh, actually, I'm going to move it back just a little bit because this borage is overwintered and it is going to get huge. I'm going to pull out any of these little seeds that I'm seeing or little starts to the grass. Pain in the butt, but it does happen. It is a risk that you run when you use hay or even straw can have a seed in it. I've had things sprout. But if you're on top of it, you can generally stay. If I were doing a huge field, this would be, or, big commercial situation, this would be definitely problematic because you'd have an awful lot to weed and you can't really do it by hand. But because I'm on a small scale and I watch things pretty closely, I come out every time I see a weed, I'll pull it if there's anything. Um, you know, I'll be able to get on top of it. I'm pretty confident of that. All right. Start by just working the soil. This has, as I said, a good amount of compost in it. Carrots are going to generally enjoy a nice loamy soil, loose, so that it can get its little roots down in there. I'm going to give that a pat down because, again, you're going to want to have good soil contact. And I'm going to just put little planting holes. I'm going to put them about 1 inch or 2 apart. We've had a lot of rain, so the soil is moist. And that's good because that's what you want for your carrot seed germination. All right, once I've got those set up, I'm going to go ahead and put the carrots in. Carrot seeds are super, super tiny, and they are not the easiest thing in the world to plant. Just a couple in each hole. These are last year's seeds, or 2 years, actually, I think maybe 2 years ago. I'm just going to put a couple in each hole, and hopefully we'll get some good germination out of that. You do have to thin them down to 1 carrot per. So I'm just going to cover up these carrots. You don't have to cover them way deep. These are relatively small seeds. Covering up. And I'm going to place my little cover right over. Now, is every single one covered? Probably not. Does that matter? Probably not. Okay, now we're going to plant the onions. I'm just going to surround this with onions. I'm going to work the soil a little. Onion sets are easy. Pointy end up, that's kind of logical. You just plant them and cover up till just let the tip show. Any that feel mushy, don't plant them. We'll see if these onion sets do anything. At least we'll get some green onion out of it. All right, I'm going to take this brick and I'm just going to put it right down on here so that it does not fly away and we have good contact maintained. And then I'm just going to water in these onions and let them be. So that's all there is to it. I'll show you in future videos a couple of other methods that I use to plant carrots. I use cardboard, I use boards. I also plant them in containers because some of the deeper rooted carrots really want that loose soil that the containers can provide. So thanks for watching. I hope you're well. Take care. Bye.